Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Adam. If you love luxury fashion, then you definitely love my channel. So make sure you like, subscribe, and check out my Instagram below for all of the latest updates. And today, let's get right into it. In today's video, we are actually going to the Hollywood Forever Cemetery because I wanted to see all of the beautiful grave sites of the stars and Hollywood legends that we have adored forever. In this video, the cemetery, it's actually so beautiful, and the scenery honestly really did impress me, but also how many peacocks are here too. Because there's so many animals, from squirrels, ducks, geese, peacocks, to crows, and the peacocks are so loud and so cute because they actually kind of sound like dinosaurs to me. I did actually meet one of my new friends there. Her name is Paige. She is so sweet and adorable. She did help me find Peewee Herman's grave and Judy Garland's. Because again, there's so many great names, including Jayne Mansfield. However, I really came here to see Marilyn Monroe and Hugh Hefner. Thanks to Paige, I found out that Marilyn and Hugh are actually not in the Hollywood Forever Cemetery. They are in the Pierce Brothers Cemetery, which is only about like 8 minutes away. So I will be doing a part 2 to this video, where we will specifically go to the Pierce Brothers Cemetery and see Marilyn and Hugh Hefner. But without any further ado, let's enjoy the Hollywood Forever Cemetery and just see countless names, stars, and icons and legends. We are now entering the Hollywood Forever Cemetery, and to be honest, I was so excited. We have so many great actresses, actors, and musicians, and film directors in this vlog, so let's go check it out. The second you arrive, you can hear the beautiful peacocks, which is honestly just so surreal. Also, 100% sounds like a pterodactyl from Jurassic Park. It's a peacock. Right here we can see just how random it is that there's just so many peacocks just like walking and roaming about. But also it's actually very special because just imagine knowing that there's a peacock in your cemetery where you would be buried. Isn't that just like a little bit nice of a moment? Parking by the main building, we are walking up to it. Now it was actually funny because while I was walking up to the specific doorway, I did actually meet somebody named Paige, and she was just so sweet and honestly so helpful because we started chatting for a good like 2 minutes. And she's the one that informed me that Hugh Hefner and Marilyn Monroe are not in this specific cemetery, but again, it will be in part 2. She did inform me that Judy Garland is definitely here, and Peewee from Pee-wee Herman. First, I noticed that when you do walk up to this building, it is absolutely huge, and the architecture is actually kind of surreal because it's kind of like a little maze in a way. But right here, you can see that there are giant hallways, and in the hallways, because of the lighting, it does make it look so super pink. I think it's like a pink marble too, if I'm not mistaken. But it's honestly just so gorgeous. Look at this. Now, when I was here, it was like nearly impossible to figure out all the names that are on this specific wall and the other wall. However, the dates that these go back to are absolutely insane because some of them are even from like 1800s, which we will get to see a lot of cool examples later on. However, just looking out of the tunnel, you can see that it's absolutely so gorgeous, the scenery and the greenery. We're here in one of the mausoleums. It's nearly like impossible to find anyone specific in this, so I'm gonna go in the actual building. Hopefully they have like a little directory, but let's see if they have a directory. We're now walking in the actual building, and I love how the rug does say Hollywood Forever, because, you know, a lot of these people, they're just such huge stars, and we honestly really have been remembering them since forever. But when you do go in, you can see the beautiful entryway. It's very huge, and I was surprised about how empty it was. It was very peaceful. It was very quiet. Down here, we can see some beautiful hallways as well. Now, later on, we are going to be taking a closer look at that skylight. But first, let's go ahead and see who is over here on the wall. Right here, we do have a beautiful Renee Adori. I believe her last name is Adori, if I am mistaken. Comment it down below. As you can see, she is from 1898 and passed away in 1933. So again, the dates that are here are absolutely insane. But the thing I like about her is that she actually has a photo above her. Walking down the hallway, we can see just so many different names and the different dates again. However, I will say that like in this little thing that's in the center, I actually think it's cute because people are still leaving stuff for so many people. And for the people who are cremated are usually in these cute little glass cases. However, right away, I had to say at the very end of the hall is some very interesting artwork that I absolutely love. So we will get to that eye at the bottom in just a moment, but let's just take a look at this picture And can you just like feel the Freemasonry of this photo? Because I mean, it's just kind of like so obvious, but it's so cool. 'Cause you know me, I love my conspiracy theories. However, right here, we do have an eye literally directly right underneath in the center. So, you know, if you know, you know, but absolutely love it. I love it. Now, taking a look at the actual skylight, you can see that it has some beautiful rose detailing in this colored glass. But honestly, this is just so gorgeous. And the way that it really lights up and like accentuates all those like cute little like lights and faces in front of the actual like tombs are actually so cute. We're now across the building on the other side, walking down the hallway that goes to the right of the building. And in the middle of this one, we can actually see some beautiful sitting areas. So, you know, if you do need to just take a moment and relax, this would be absolutely great for you. Now, I was actually surprised because there's actually a lot of space that, one, they're renovating, but two, there are rooms. So, like, if you did technically want a plot or in one of the glass cases, you technically can. I was personally really curious, what is it at the end of this hallway and why does it have caution tape? So, we're still exploring this giant main building, and over here, I want to take a look at just some more people and some more names on the wall. So, if you are interested, you know, kind of go ahead, give those a little pause during the video. However, this statue over here 100% creeped me out. Now, I just felt like this was so like Exorcist girl, but like the fact that she has the same name as my mom, I'm just like, oh my god, this is such like a weird, goosebumpy, like just like a weird trip, and like I can't believe like that's here. And it just gives me like really creepy vibes. What do you think? Comment it down below. Now, he was really cool because we do have the Kellys. Now, it's not the classic and iconic Grace Kelly that we all know and love from the old Hollywood movies, but I did just think it was really interesting how at first, like, you kind of do get that impression of it, but I'm actually not sure where Grace Kelly specifically is buried. It might be New York or in another country, if I'm not mistaken, because a couple people are in Switzerland that I was hoping to see. However, we do have Charles Wood Kelly and Grace W. Kelly, and they were both around from the 1980s and 90s to the 1960s. So again, just like very interesting facts. We do have Ralph Waldo, which I just specifically think of like Where's Waldo, so I thought it would be kind of really cute just to incorporate him in this video. So shout out to you, Ralph. Hopefully you found Where's Waldo if that existed in the 1987s. Here we do have a Dennis D. Finch that says Forever in Your Heart. Now, I don't know why, but the name specifically just sounds like an author. Now, I did Google. It's not an actual author. However, I just feel like the name sounds like an author, so I wanted to include him just like that Waldo man. Here's really exciting because we do have the Judy Garland Pavilion. Now, she has the biggest space in this entire cemetery, I must say, and it's honestly just so cute. So even just like looking at like the quality of her name, Judy Garland Pavilion, it's honestly just so cute and I love it so much. And then when we do walk in the main entrance, I was actually genuinely surprised to see chairs because like it's so popular that you know you can come and you can sit. It's also a little bit eerie just because of the chairs. However, this pavilion is absolutely huge and you can see she is right in the center and it's actually kind of really gorgeous and beautiful in a way. A little bit lonely though, I feel like. I mean, I know there's like many people that are surrounding her, but I just feel like being like alone right there is just a little bit lonely. But you can see that people still come and people do leave things for her still today. Like right here, we can see a copy of The Wizard of Oz DVD. We do even have some money and some coins as well. And I think that was a seashell that I did see as well. However, it does say Judy Garland, June 10th, 1922 to June 22, 1969. Taken way too soon, but it does say I'll come to you smiling through the years, which Judy Garland, you absolutely have been doing. They did also have a giant book that you can sign and just like write something very cute for Judy Garland. I was contemplating posting this specific shot in this video because I wasn't sure if I wanted to share it or not. However, I did decide to share it because you are watching it right now, and I just thought it was like a nice moment. So, you know, why not? That's for you, Judy Garland. In the pavilion, there is a lot of Wizard of Oz decorations because I think that's a movie that everybody on Earth probably loved at one point. So I think it's beautiful. Okay, so we are now exploring the rest of the cemetery. Straight down from Judy Garland, it is actually a dead end, but I thought that was really, really cool because directly in front of me is the actual studio lot where many of them worked and filmed their movies. So I think it's so cool how connected to the cemetery is the actual studios, like where you actually go and film. So I think it's just so cool and it kind of is like a little eerie at the same time, if you will. However, so perfect. Comment down below, how do you feel about the cemetery right next to the movie studios? We are now going to the other end of the cemetery, and this is where most of like the musicians and the stars are buried because I do really, really want to find Pee-wee Herman. I know Pee-wee Herman is somewhere in here, so I definitely want to go and find him. However, they do have a lot of very beautiful architectures in this specific spot, but directly ahead, this white pyramid caught my eye, and I really, really wonder who is in that pyramid and what does it look like on the inside. So shout out to you, Pyramid. I love that. Directly across, we do have this beautiful crypt as well. And again, I really, really want to go in the crypts because I just think they're so cool. I did go to New Orleans and their cemeteries were very interesting. So if you didn't check out that video, definitely check them out. Right here, we do have a Romanian film director, and I think he had like one of the most special like tombstone slash statues. However, right next to him, we do actually have Johnny from the Ramones, and I know he definitely has like my favorite bust out of all the ones that we will be seeing today. So I think that's just so cool. We are now out of the car and we are going to be taking a look around the actual cemetery and walking the actual plots. However, you can just have like a moment of peace and a moment of silence for everyone who's passed away here. Now that we're out of the car, let's take a closer look at the Romanian film director's actual tombstone because this is actually so cool. I love it so much, especially how it has like the actual filming cameras. So I think that's honestly just such a perfect touch and it's so luxurious as well. However, next to him, again, we do have Johnny from the Ramones, and I think it's just so cool because like the bus right on top, I really feel like that says a lot about the person that you are looking at and how much they actually loved their band and how it was kind of like their identity in a way. So I think this is really cool. But something that melted my heart and nearly brought me to tears was Toto. In the memory of Toto. So this is just like so cute because again, Judy Garland, The Wizard of Oz, we all love Toto. And you know me, I have such a soft spot for animals that anything animal related is automatically like tear worthy. Whereas Cornwall actually had a very, very nice and beautiful site because of all the plants. So it's very, very like bright and happy and like a nice little moment. Here we do have Helena Hutchins, and again, I'm not too familiar with every single person and name that we will be seeing. However, anyone that I just thought was in the vicinity of my camera or whose graves I thought were just really pretty to look at will be in this video. So if you see anybody that I specifically don't know that you know, comment it down below. This one was really cool because I loved how the guy was actually climbing up the rock. And well, if you know anything about like Dante's Inferno, you know that like one of the layers of the underworld would actually be like having to carry boulders up to the top of a mountain on your back, but you can never actually get them to the top of the mountain. So that's what this reminded me of. So I actually thought it was really cool in that way. Now we have Haley McDaniel from Gone with the Wind. And Gone with the Wind, I have to be honest, I actually have not seen this movie yet. It is on my list to see. I haven't seen this and I haven't seen Casablanca. So both of these are like a huge must watch for me. But Gone with the Wind, it's so classic and beautiful. And then of course it does have the actual wind blowing in the background. So honestly, like if that isn't just like a touching spiritual moment, then what is? We do actually have a building in the very middle of this giant beautiful water pond. However, I do end up going to it, but it was close and I forgot what the sign said of who was in it. I'm not sure if it was just like a little church or if it was an actual crypt. But again, if you know, comment it down below. But this is absolutely beautiful just to sit here and just enjoy the scenery. Here we do have Edmund Simonian, and I thought his grave was actually really, really cool because, again, I love the giant statue of him. However, the steps and the color of everything just looks so great. One of my favorite statues, if not my all-time favorite statue that I did see here, is this fantastic lady Now, you can tell right away that she was such a character with all of the jewelry and the fashion and just like the je ne sais quoi, darling. So you could definitely tell that she must have been so fun. And it really makes me wonder, like, who is she? And like, I want to know more just by looking at this statue. However, one thing that I can tell is somebody specifically purposely put this like little cigarette spot right here, so that tells me that she was probably a smoker. Like you know me, if you're a smoker, you can relate to other smokers, and that's just totally something that I could see my best friend doing for me at my grave one day. So, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I love, love, love this fact. And then right behind it, you do have these three owls, which to me, it reminds me of see no evil, speak no evil, and hear no evil. So I just think that's also an interesting fact. In the cemetery, there are a lot of peacocks, but there's also so many cute little ducks and gooses. So, you know, duck, duck, goose. Over here, this one, I thought it was so pretty. And then just the fact, like, all of the cute little gooses were just, like, hanging by it. I just thought that was a really cute fact. But we will be just walking around and seeing what is actually here. Now, specifically, I'm looking for Peewee Herman, and I am actually really close to him. He's just kind of, like, straight ahead, but we're not at him quite yet. But the cemetery itself, it is really big. I just wonder how much it is to get in at this point. We do have this beautiful seat and grave of DeVito, but right behind it, you can see these beautiful dolphins. And the dolphins is just so cute, especially because under them it says, "It broke our hearts to lose you. Now our family chain is broken, but when God calls one by one, the chain will link again." So, actually, that's kind of cute. Oh, that's sad. Sad, but cute. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I actually did get attacked by a squirrel, and he was not happy with me. So this guy had his eye on me, like, for the entire time after seeing him, and he doesn't attack me quite yet. But he does come back. Here we have Mikhail Leslin, but I think the anchor is actually really, really beautiful. It makes me think, did she love water? Did she love boats? Did she love to swim? So I'm really, really curious on what the anchor means. And then right over here, dun dun dun, we have the squirrel that tries to attack me because he thinks I want his peanut when I don't. I just want to walk around so I can get to Pee Wee Herman. I did end up making it around after that thing tried to chase me. It actually almost got my leg, but then I seen a crow, so I'm like, what is with all of these animal sightings I am seeing? I wonder if they mean anything. But the crow just chilling right there on that little tree stump, that was just so picturesque, was it not? Like, I loved that. And here we finally get to Pee Wee Herman's grave. I'm just so happy that I was able to come and actually see it. But you know me, okay, so growing up, Pee Wee's Playhouse, I watched that so much. Did have a matching bike that was red, inspired by Pee Wee Herman. So it was just so cute. I had so many cute Pee Wee Herman things. However, Paul Reubens, there is a documentary on HBO, and if you watch it, you will genuinely be amazed by how much this guy has done and how corrupted and twisted everybody made his story to be. Because if you watch the documentary, you'll see that he's actually like an upstanding citizen, and the unfortunate stories that were spread about him were really just not his story to be remembered for. So definitely go check out the documentary on Paul Reubens, Pee Wee Herman. Trust me, it's honestly so worth it. But while I'm in California, I did actually stop at the Pee Wee Herman house too. So that's such a good video, so make sure you check that out as well. At this point, I did actually meet up with Paige, and we were walking around together. We're currently both looking at this Burt Reynolds statue. And the thing about this one is the bust of it was like this really, really big news story because it was just so accurate. And I have to be honest, out of all of the statues and the bust that I have seen, his is so scary realistic that I am amazed because I mean it's just absolutely like clone for this one. Here we have Michael Philip Risk, and I love the fact how it has like the directing thing right behind his name because again that tells me that he's probably in the film industry, so I had to shout it out. For some reason I had a feeling I had to take a picture of the Peter Bruni. I think it's quite interesting. Again, we have some beautiful ducks and gooses, and oh my god, just look at the duck. It's just so cute. And then there's Paige over there. She really wanted to find somebody called, I think it was like Virginia Reed. So with the luck of the swan, let's find it. Obviously, the cute little baby ducks are so cute, so I had to include it. Ah! Little baby friends.
The little turtles around here too are so cute.
Now, this crypt was actually absolutely huge. And the person inside that is Scott Menard, so I wonder what he did and what his story is. So again, if you know, comment it down below. However, we can see some very, very cute turtles, and I love the turtles so much because they're just so adorable. It's actually just like this in Calabasas, like turtles are just absolutely everywhere. So, cute fact. And we have a beautiful helicopter, and all I can say is when it comes to me, if you know, you know. Now we have David Lynch, which is honestly just so huge. And everybody was just so sad about this year. Thankfully, he will forever be such a classic icon. And right above him, like if you are having a hard time finding him, just look at the scenery right here because this will definitely help you in the future when it comes time to find him. One that I absolutely was so excited and loved to see was Jayne Mansfield. Now again, I didn't really know how big Jayne Mansfield actually was, but when I actually watched the documentary on HBO, you'll honestly just end up loving her more and more with every like documentary that you see on her. Such a visionary and honestly just so cool. So I'm actually really, really happy that I did get to see this one. Like this is like classic old Hollywood for me. Now we do have the return of the Peacocks as well. And it's just so cute, and it got so close to me and Paige, so I was so happy to see it. Now, Paige and I finally found Virginia Rappe's grave, and if you don't know who Virginia specifically is, she was one of the first main up-and-coming actresses who ended up being murdered before her time. So if she was never murdered, I promise everybody would end up knowing the name, but she never actually had the chance to, and because of that, it's really, really sad. So if you know like the dark side of old Hollywood, she would be included in the dark side of old Hollywood, kind of like the Black Delilah in a way. However, definitely less known than the Black Delilah. Now we have the Peacocks who came so super close to us. They're so beautiful. Bye, Peewee. Hi. Yes, you're gorgeous. Yeah, we're talking to you. Oh. Maybe even sent by Virginia for being so happy that we were able to find her and show her some appreciation. He's like, oh yes, they love me, and I love them for loving me. Exactly. Very Hollywood Peacock. Now we have Steve Urkel Gilbert, which sounded very, very popular, so I felt like I had to go ahead and take a shot of that as well. However, the squirrel came back for more. At this point, I think he caught on that I was just filming and doing like an appreciation video, so he was like, okay, let's like get my good side. Now with the help of Paige, she actually told me that Marilyn and Hugh Hefner were buried at the Pierce Brothers Cemetery, which is only like 5 minutes away. But just look how cool that the Hollywood sign is directly across from the Hollywood Forever Cemetery. On the way to the Pierce Cemetery, you do pass Beverly Hills, which they always change like their giant statues so frequently. But right now, it's like 1,000 elephants, and I don't know the meaning of like why there's 1,000 gold elephants all along the street, but it goes on for like 3 blocks, so it's so many. But if you know the significance of this, comment it down below. Now, if you want to see the Pierce Brothers Cemetery and where Marilyn Monroe and Hugh Hefner are buried, well, definitely check out part 2 of this video, which will be my next video, so definitely make sure you come back and check that out in just a couple days. And I really, really hope you enjoy. But I promise you, we will get so much more into the Marilyn gravesite and just so many cool facts and information and so many other celebrities in the same cemetery that you probably don't even know are actually buried here. So stay tuned and make sure you come back. Like I said, I will be uploading a part 2 to this video, which will be up in just a couple days, so make sure you come back and check that out. However, the Maryland gravesite, it's so pretty. The cemetery is so much smaller, but it honestly is worth it because there's also Betty Page. Even Farrah Fawcett was there, and Farrah Fawcett I was so excited to see because I actually loved Charlie's Angels. I actually did meet Jacqueline Smith when I was a child, and I got her autograph with like my name and her name and everything, so that was actually really, really cute. So just like a cute little sentimental fact there. But the cemetery itself is actually really peaceful as well. Now, the Hollywood Forever Cemetery that you just seen in this video, comment down below, like, were you impressed by, like, one, how big it is, but two, just how, like, beautiful and upkept it is? Because I did think this was one of the most beautiful cemeteries, if not the most beautiful, I have ever been to. So definitely comment down below what your thoughts and opinions on this video. Toto is just so cute. I was actually really happy to see Toto. But again, thank you guys so much for watching. I truly do appreciate it, and you. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment down below, and have a great day. Au revoir.